8 racers this morning that'll be racing with us. This is going to be a low-key race, but they're going to have a lot of fun. It was a cool little drivers meeting they had this morning. Dave was really low-key with it, just telling the kids, hey, this is for you guys. We're just here to have fun. Stay safe. Have fun was the motto of the drivers meeting. Super cool. We've got 8 guys on course as we speak. We have the number 725 Riley May, number 9 Logan Hellman, 618 Aiden Gilbert, 222 Dylan Trent, 307 Addison Gilbert, 06 Tillman Ewing, 45 Max Dybert, and number 16 Nathan Greenberger. So we got 8 little UTVs out there. They're on the short course that we will be racing on later on today. We've got 1 camera on down, 3 cameras out in the woods later on today, plus our live drone. Thank you for everybody tuning in back home and here on site, ultra4racing.com/live. It was a hot, dry, dusty one yesterday, and it's starting to be that way this morning once again. They're shooting for low 90s. There's a possibility of rain off and on all day long, so we'll see how that plays out. A little bit of rain would be super nice, kick down some of this dust, but a downpour would be a nightmare. So we got our first UTV really slinging through there. I think that's the 22 Dylan Trent, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. So he's way out front. Dave's giving the yellow, just saying, hey, everything's good, but slow her down. There's a lot of dust for these kids. We got 8 little UTVs out there. Must have had a little bit of a bottleneck midway through. Not sure, somebody got tangled up a little bit. Looks like we have 1 on its side. So we got our Hammer King safety crew out there, get everything checked out. So we'll get everything lined back out for these guys. Getting him tipped back over. Make sure everybody's okay. Again, this is just a fun race for the kids. A lot of these kids, their parents are the racers, so they're here anyway, so might as well bring their kids a little ride out there. Let the whole family have the fun. This is Ultra 4 at its finest. So we'll get them lined back out. We're going to do roughly 6 laps as long as everything goes smooth. This is an unofficial race, but again, it's just for fun. This is the 2020 four-wheel parts teardown in Tennessee. There's number 45, Max Dybert. Behind the number 6, Tillman Ewing. Going to restack the field and get them sit back out on their way. We got to give our sponsors a lot of love today, because without those guys, we would not be out here racing today. So thank you again to Nitto, Can-Am, Ford, Monster, Optima, 4-Wheel Parts, and Progressive. Dave's giving them just a nice little chat saying, hey, this is for fun. This is for, we want to stay safe. So let's keep the ball rolling. We'll have a good day. Looks like Dave's just checking him out, making sure he's okay, because he flopped over on the side, but it looked like it was pretty gentle. We are just outside of South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, just north of the Alabama border. Dead middle between Nashville, Knoxville, Birmingham, and Atlanta. About an hour and a half between all of those big cities. This is hill country out there. There's a great shot of the background. It's a beautiful part of the country. This is our first race back since the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers. Since everything hit, at least we're getting back to somewhat of a normal here in Ultra 4. So for you guys tuning in early this morning, all weekend long, today and tomorrow, if you go to our Ultra4Racing.com website, go to the shop and use promo code, all capitals, TEARDOWN20. So TEARDOWN20, you get 20% off the Ultra4 website. Buy some shirts, buy some hats, get some early Christmas shopping done, save yourself some money. So I'll be throwing that code out. It's good through Sunday evening. And that's just for you guys for tuning in, for watching the Ultra4Racing.com/live. We've got people tuned in all over the world. Over in Ultra4 Australia, they're having a race this weekend also. They also have a race in September near Brisbane. King of Britain is the first weekend of August. My co-host Jim Marsden, he'll be defending his title over there. Our next race in this series will be the Lasernut Rumble in Reno, just outside of Lake Tahoe at Sparks, Nevada at the Wild West Motorsports Park. And then our national race will be at the Crossbar Ranch in Davis, Oklahoma. It's usually in Reno, but with everything that's happened, we want to put it in the central of the United States to make it fair for everybody coming out, make it easier for the racers and the families. After that race, we have our national awards. We will not have an East and a West champion. It'll just be a national champion this year, since we're only having 3 regional races. So this year, you only have to have 3 races. It can be either KOH here at the Teardown at Tennessee, or the Rumble in Reno, or at the Nationals in Davis, Oklahoma at the Crossbar Ranch. So the person with the most points out of 3 of those 4 races, normally you cannot drop KOH, but with the shortened season, we've adjusted that this year. So Chris May with May Motorsports helped put this little 170 race together, part of Team Indiana. So huge shout out to those guys for putting in the effort to let everybody have a little bit of fun this morning. We will be kicking off this morning at 10 a.m. for the Can-Am Motorsports UTV 4900 race with Jamie McCoy on the pole. Still trying to get everybody lined back out. This is the 4-Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee, just outside of South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. We're going to have a 6-lap 170 race this morning. We have the 725 of Riley May, the number 9 of Logan Hellman, the number 618 of Aiden Gilbert, the number 22 of Dilden Trent, number 307 Addison Gilbert, number 06 Tillman Ewing, number 45 Max Dybert, and the number 16 Nathan Grindenberg. A little more sponsor love this morning. Again, thank you for everybody tuning in here on site and back at home. Ultra4Racing.com/live. We've got Nitto, Can-Am, Ford, Monster, Optima, 4-Wheel Parts, Progressive, Warren, King Shocks, Amsoil, Griffin, Holly EFI, Titan Fuel Tanks, Boxo Tools, Yukon Gear, Fab School, PCI Race Radios, Lasernut, Steal It, and MBRP. Without those guys, we would not be racing today. So please help who supports us. So support who supports the sport. Dave's getting everybody lined out. Remember, this is safety first this morning. This is just a fun little race for the Youth 170 guys. So this morning, right around 10 a.m., we'll kick off with the Can-Am 4900 UTV class. Right around 12:30 will be the four-wheel parts Everyman Challenge classes. We'll have the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle class, 4600 Spider Track Stock class, and the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class. And then right around 3:30 we'll have the big boys, the Unlimited Nitto Ultra4 guys, the biggest and baddest names in our sport. Looks like we're back under racing. With a little bit of dust out here, he's sending them out about 5-10 second increments. Spread them out just a little bit so the dust isn't quite so thick. We will have a water truck on site later on today. You saw earlier, number 22, Dylan Trent, was out front. Looks like he's got that machine pretty dialed in, so I'll expect to see him coming through that start line. There he comes. He did a pretty good little kicker out of this little spot coming out earlier. So we'll see the big guys really getting some air right there as he does a little donkey kick, hits that little sand action, and heading out for lap number 2. You can see just how dusty it is out there. So that's why the Rufus boys did their little rain dance last night, even though I was doing my anti-rain dance. There's a great shot of the new Ford Bronco. I hope you guys have all tuned in. Put your orders in on those things. Those things are some cool rides. I think that's the single-seater of the 06 Tillman Ewing coming through, heading out for lap 2. Looks like that could be one of the Gilberts coming through. Are we going to get a pass? It's a little dusty, I'm sorry. I think that could have been Max Dybert also. We will have live timing later today to help us out keep who's who a little bit. The dust is going to be thick out there, especially that short course down there. And then back in the woods, it's going to be interesting. Looks like that could be the number 22 Trent. Dylan Trent coming through. So that's finishing lap 2, heading out on lap 3. So we're roughly halfway through this little Youth 170 fun run. This 2020 letting the little tykes run around their little 170 UTVs. Have a couple of the Gilberts. Trent. Chris May's daughter. It's cool to see the whole family affair out here having a good time. We've had 8 new racers show up to this race this weekend. Keep going for quite a while. It's the first round on us, so if this is your first race ever racing with Ultra4, we waive your entry fee just to, kind of bait and hook and get you in here and get you hooked. There's the number 6 Tillman 170. I think that's Max. And then one of the here comes Dylan Trent. He's the fastest UTV for sure. Finishing his 3rd lap, I believe, heading out for 4 out of 6. Remember, this is just a little fun run, but it's cool to have it on live television for all your grandparents and whoever else, fans, family. We will be heading back down to Mexico this year. It won't be for a race, but it's going to be a jamboree-style little fun run back down in San Felipe, Mexico for the weekend of Thanksgiving. So any of you fans want to come out and hang with some of the big names, we'll be down there eating some tacos and running some trails. So make sure to come on down to San Felipe over Thanksgiving. These little 170s are pretty cool. They're a glorified golf cart, but man, these kids really have a lot of fun with them. That's becoming a pretty good spectator deal at a lot of our local races. So there's Dylan Trent really hauling the mail down there. Derek Trent, you'll recognize that name. That's his dad. He builds all the Trent Fab buggies. Believe that's Max Dybert. Just came through right behind Dylan Trent. That's the number 6. And another Gilbert coming through. Logan Hellman, Riley May, Nathan Gredenberg. It's just, like I said, this is just fun. We're just out here kind of letting the kids have a little fun. They sit around all day watching their dads or their favorite racer out here racing, so now it's their turn to have a little fun this morning. Pretty cool to see. It's a mixture of little girls, little boys out there running around. I saw Scott Decker out there with a headset on, coaching away. There goes Dylan Trent, taking the checkered flag. So unofficially, it's going to be Dylan Trent, number 22, taking the win for the 170 youth race. Again, this is just a little fun run. So we're just getting kicked off for the 2020 four-wheel parts teardown in Tennessee, just outside of South Pittsburgh. There's number 45, Max Dybert, unofficially second. That was a 6-lap race. Took roughly 20 minutes. There's our race director, JT Taylor. He sets up all our courses. Worldwide, he goes over to Portugal and England and all that jazz. So JT Taylor is a traveling man. That's going to be number 6, Tillman Hewing, I believe, rounding out the top. So it's going to be Dylan Trent, Max Dybert, and Tillman Hewing unofficially 1, 2, 3. For the Youth 170 race here at the Four Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee. Boy, look how dusty it is down there on that infield. Just wait until we get the big horsepower. 1,000 horsepower some of these guys are pushing. Throwing those 40-inch Nitto tires all over the track. It's going to make for an interesting day. And then we're going to have a 6-mile loop through the woods. The big guys will run 8 laps. Some of the limited classes will run 6. The stock guys will be 4, and the UTVs will be 4. You have to run half of your laps to get qualified for the 2021 Nitto King of the Hammers. So what a great fun run we had. It looks like it was Dylan Trent out front, Max Dybert, then Tillman Hewing. So great showing by all of our little guys and gals. We had Riley May, Logan Hellman, Aiden Gilbert, Dylan Trent, Addison Gilbert, Tillman Hewing, Max Dybert, and Nathan Grinneberg. So that was a fun little run. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Be sure to tune back in later this morning. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back in right about 1 hour to start off for the 4900 Can-Am Motorsports UTV class. I'm Miles Hasselquist. I will be with you all day long. So we're going to take a quick break, get everything reset, do our driver's meeting, and get back to some racing action right at 10 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock. We'll be back then.
So, you know, we're about a month into when we first shut down our factories. And in the last 30 days, we started with nothing but ideas to help combat the coronavirus. And now we've grown to multiple efforts that include making ventilators with GE Healthcare at our Rawsonville factory. We're making powered air purifying respirators at our Vreeland facility near Flat Rock. And we're making surgical masks at our Van Dyke transmission plant. You know, all this is what Ford does. It's in our DNA. If you go back to World War II, you know, we built more than 270,000 Jeeps, and we built B-24 Liberator bombers at our Ypsilanti plant. But when there's a time of need for the U.S., we pitch in and we immediately move to help. It's what makes me so proud to work for Ford Motor Company. It's been really amazing, and it's been something that's been an honor to actually help make a difference as quickly as possible here in the fight against the coronavirus.
Of the Holly EFI Shootout, Stephen Rogers.
In Johnson Valley, California for the King of the Hammers, the Ultra4 Championship.
We have the best off-road drivers in the world lined up for the start of this race. First place is a poison chalice at the moment.
At this point, it still is anyone's race.
Could this be the first Queen of the Hammers 2020 Minnow King of the Hammers?
Pulled off the race course. He is underneath the back of that rig, and Cameron Steele is right behind her, and it looks like they are definitely down and out at this point. This race is a nasty race.
And we're struggling to find cars still running.
problem with Bailey's car is a water pump. The question would be, if they're going to be able to get one taken out to them. Oh, and here we're watching Shannon.
Kept on charging, and we dropped her pump off, and now she's moving again.
Motoring, he is out of the race. Definitely something somewhere has gone wrong with Jason
We're
Shearer.
still looking at Lauren, definitely still stopped.
Working hard to get back into this race.
Just terrible news for Marcos Gomez, but in true Hammers fashion, he's still pushing through. We've seen multiple people cross the line on Prevail. Out of nowhere, Eric Miller shows up to the party. There's no way to call this race at this point in time. Josh Bliner, the 2020 Nitto King of the Hammers champion.